What's up, everybody? Nerd HQ has been a hotspot for the past 3 years at San Diego Comic-Con for fans to meet the celebrities they love, but this year, they need your help. Here to tell us all about it is Zachary Levi. Hello, Zachary!
Well, hello there, Gregory. How are you, sir?
I am excellent. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell me, what's going on? What is Nerd HQ, and then why do you need the fans this year?
Excellent questions. So Nerd HQ is essentially like a 4-day pop culture event that we at the Nerd Machine, my company, have been putting on for the last 3 years. It's kind of like a complement to Comic-Con. It's a lot of panels and parties and technology and video games, but just on a kind of more small, intimate, interactive level of sorts. And we basically try to bring as free of an event as possible to the fans and bring in celebrities and do all these cool activations and interactions while simultaneously raising as much money as we can for charity, which in this case is Operation Smile, who I'm an ambassador for, and they're an incredible organization. And to date, we've raised about $415,000 just doing our panels, which are very intimate and small and unmoderated, just like an hour of Q&A between fans and celebrities, which is a lot of fun, and we can get into later. And then we do like photo sessions and signing sessions, and all of it is all for charity. So that's Nerd HQ. And the reason why I need people's help this year is essentially because the last 3 years we've used a solely sponsorship dollar kind of model. And by that I mean, we go out and we try and secure Xbox or Fiat or whomever to, want to have a presence at Nerd HQ. And through that money we're able to produce the event. But the problem is that like sponsorship schedules and production schedules just don't really mesh very well. Sponsorship dollars normally don't come in until like right up to the event, if not sometimes afterwards. But we need to secure venues and pay production staffs way, way in advance. So what I've been doing the last 3 years is I would just put my own money into it, and then I would reimburse myself with sponsorship dollars when it came in. And the first couple of years, we essentially broke even. But last year, I got hit really hard. Because some sponsors pulled out on us, and all because of the way that schedule works out. Sure. And so Nerd HQ almost didn't happen, and almost never happened again because it was a pretty big hit. But that said, I believe in it so much, and I know its impact, and I know how much money we raise for charity and helping kids in developing countries all over the world through Operation Smile, and I know the fun and the power. And the love that we can bring together with all these celebrities and fan interactions, it's monumental, man. I mean, I've never felt anything so powerful in my life, honestly. And so I want to keep doing it, and I know that a lot of fans out there want to keep doing it. It's just a matter of putting it in their hands and saying, hey, can you help me? And I'm only asking for $5. If people want to give more, I'm more than happy to receive that and put that toward the goal of $1 million that we need to raise, because that's how much it costs. But all I'm asking people is for $5. And I feel like anyone who can understand, and that's why I so appreciate your guys' time to help people understand what we do. It's a free event, so you can come. If you're at Comic-Con, you can walk right through the doors and you can come in and you can charge your phones. You can play video games that aren't even on the market yet. You can come and hang out and lounge, and we have photo booths totally for free. We have different celebrity panels and things, sometimes that are for charity and sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're for free. So at Comic-Con, I think it's worth at least $5 if you want to stroll in. And then if you're watching, we stream all of the panels that we do. We live stream them all over the world for free. So if you're in Amsterdam or you're in Singapore and you really love Tom Hiddleston or Doctor Who or Sherlock Holmes or Orphan Black or myself or Nathan Fillion or Joss Whedon or whatever or Supernatural, and you want to see these interviews ever again, then I need your help, and I think it's worth at least $5, if I can give all those things to you for free. And they're all like hour panels. I mean, we produce basically 20 plus hours of content that we live stream to the world. So anybody, and this year, by the way, we're going to finally get a little more interactive with online and, have questions from Twitter and questions from Facebook and stuff like that. So even if you can't be there in person, you can still be very much a part of the conversation.
Why do you think, Nerd HQ is something that needs to exist at Comic-Con, right? Comic-Con itself is all about pop culture. There are panels there. Why do you think that Nerd HQ is special and needs to be back this year?
Well, look, I never want to say that San Diego Comic-Con is an incredible mothership that brings us all to San Diego during that weekend, and I'm so grateful for those guys down there. I think that what we offer is a complement to that, which is just a more intimate, interactive experience. You know, as Chuck, I got to go down to Comic-Con for 5 years and promote the show to thousands of fans in, Ballroom 20, and it was amazing. But I always was kind of frustrated because it was always moderated, and all 5,000 fans got maybe 5 minutes left over at the end of our panel to try and ask a question, and sometimes they never even had the time for them. And but that's the way, that's how that needs to work, because that's the way Comic-Con panels work. For me, I wanted to give 250 fans. That's the size of our panels, and it might grow a little bit in the years to come, but it'll never get more than like 500. The whole point is to make them really intimate and really interactive, where those fans get to ask whatever they want for an hour. Like, I go in and host it. I'll come in and I'll say, hey, welcome to the stage, Nathan Fillion. And then Nathan comes out, and then he just takes questions for an hour. Yeah. And you don't get that anywhere. Not at Comic-Con, not at WonderCon, not at DragonCon. I mean, not that I know of anyway. Like, in order to give people that kind of interaction is pretty rare. And on top of that, like, that it's all for charity too. Like, nobody who comes to Nerd HQ is getting paid. Every single celebrity that comes is doing it out of the generosity and kindness of their heart, because they believe in doing something good while interacting with their fans. And it makes it something that's really beautiful and really special, and everybody walks away from going, wow, that was really awesome. I'm really glad that I got to be a part of that. And it makes it completely off the cuff, by the way. Like, you have no idea what's going to happen. When Matt Smith and Arthur Darvill and Karen Gillan 2 years ago, when they were doing a panel for us, and then out of nowhere just broke into half of Bohemian Rhapsody because they felt like it. You don't get that at other conventions or events. When somebody asks Tom Hiddleston to impersonate Chris Evans and me, and he does them spot on, and then somebody says, "Hey, will you impersonate a Velociraptor? Because I saw you do it online." And Tom Hiddleston, in all of his glory, literally on stage for 5 solid minutes, does the best Velociraptor from Jurassic Park I have ever seen in my life. You just don't get that at other panels.
So Nerd HQ is the chance for an average fan to come in and be puppet masters to these actors, your friends.
To an extent. What I believe that it allows us all to kind of break down a few of these barriers and allow us to, our panels I call conversations for a cause, because they are for a bigger cause than just the panel's sake. It's all for raising money, but they are very much conversations. This is not, a lot of times with a moderated panel, as you well know, it's a reporter, it's somebody in the business, it's somebody that already has access to these very celebrities, and they're asking them questions that are pretty par for the course as far as like, hey, how's your character different than last season or whatever, if you're talking about a television show or something.
Sure.
But fans, I believe, have some of the most fascinating, interesting, deep, silly questions that you can ever be hit with. And I think it makes it A, incredibly entertaining, B, incredibly insightful, and C, very refreshing from an actor's point of view. I love being, somebody might say, hey, what's your favorite color? I go, blue. Next question. You can get through it, and you can like really make a lot of people really happy by just giving them a little moment. And I really do believe that as an entertainer, my job is to entertain people, but it's also, I think it's really powerful now that the world is so connected and small because of how connected it is, to remain connected to your fan base, to just give them a little acknowledgement and say, hey, I appreciate you. I appreciate that I have a job because you support me in what I do. And that's what I like. That's why I like allowing all these celebrities to have that same opportunity. And I like fans to get the opportunity to look at their favorite celebrities and say, hey, I appreciate you, and I like what you do. And also, inquiring minds want to know X, and then you go from there,
Yeah. Now, you talk about how, it's refreshing to get out there and not have, like, structure or moderator. By the way, you're putting me, moderator, out of business, so I don't like that one bit. But one of the things I find refreshing about your whole Indiegogo campaign, right, is that there are no perks. You're literally just like, I need $5 from everybody who's watching this. I thought that was awesome. You know what I mean? If you want to give more, great, but there's no perks. Was that a hard decision to do? Did you toy around with the idea of, like, exclusive access or something?
We did toy around with it. The story goes, the long and the short of it is, I have always felt, I I love the idea of crowdfunding. I really do. Because I love the power of people. I love collective power and collective voice all coming together for a common goal. I get off on it. I think it's just a beautiful thing. I know that sounds weird, but
when you say it like that, yeah, a little bit weird, but no, it's fine. Roll with it.
But I mean, in my mind and in my heart, I get off on it. Anyway, moving on. But I think it's really incredible, and so I love places like Kickstarter and Indiegogo. I just always had this weird thing, a check in my spirit about that. I know that different people just have different kind of resources available to them. I know that some people can really afford a lot of money, and most people can't. And by the way, everyone can do however they want to crowdfund. And I'm not casting aspersions or judgment. I just knew that for me, if and when I ever did a crowdfund for whatever it was going to be, and this seemed to be the most practical thing to do it for, I just wanted everyone to feel like no matter what their contribution, it all meant something, and that it was all appreciated on the same level. So if you have $100 and you can give $100, God bless you. Thank you for that. But if you've only got $5, I don't want you to feel like that $5 meant any less to us because you're not going to get the shirt or the poster or the tweet back or whatever. Right. I wanted you to feel like, hey, your $5 is just as valuable to you, therefore it's just as valuable to me. And it's just what I believed in. So that's what I always wanted to do. And then there were a lot of people going, wait a minute, maybe we should think about this, because every other crowdfunding campaign has reward structure and has perks. And so I was like, look, I'm open to having the conversation. Let's have the conversation. And we had a whole bunch of stuff that we ran through about what could we do, how could we reward people. And honestly, dude, I just thought about it a lot. I prayed about it a lot, about this whole campaign. I was like, I just want to do what I really feel like is the right thing to do. And it's particularly for me, And I just came back on it and I said, you know what? No, this is the way I believe this needs to go. And for multiple reasons, by the way. One of them, the most important being, I want everyone to feel like they got the same reward because they're making the same sacrifice, regardless of whatever they can or cannot afford. That's the biggest one.
Yeah.
And I know that's very ideological, but I really do believe that. And then the other reasons that are kind of interconnected are, look, the best reward I can give everybody is the best Nerd HQ. So if I'm spending money and time and resources on fulfilling a bunch of perks, that's all money, time, and resources I can put toward making the better event. Getting more panelists, doing more panels, doing better parties, doing, last year we showed Serenity in the middle of the baseball stadium. Like, I'd like to do more movies. I'd like to do concerts. I want to do cool activations, but that all costs money. And so, if I go and start printing off a bunch of T-shirts, that's all less money I can put toward fulfilling fans' dreams in the way that I really would like to do that. So that's kind of why I opted to do it. And yeah, I know it's kind of crazy. I know some people are like, I don't know that you're going to be able to reach your goal because everyone else offers these things and that's what incentivizes people. But I really believe that if people just take the time to hear me out and listen to the video, they'll know my heart and they'll know that I really just want to give them the best thing that I can give them,
I mean, for that, I think it comes through loud and clear. That was the whole thing when I first heard about it. When I saw you on Twitter tweeting about it, and I thought, all right, it'll be like Kickstarter and all these different ways. But when you go through it, I think the sincerity and the fact that it really comes across as, it's Nerd HQ and we're all in this together, right? You're trying to build this for them so they can come. And even if, like you're saying, right, if you're in Australia and you have no plans to go to San Diego Comic-Con, you can contribute your $5 and watch all the streams and still be a part of it.
Exactly. And again, I mean, I really hope that everyone internationally can kind of pick up on that because I want to keep bringing them these interviews. I mean, they don't exist anywhere else in the world to have these type of just off-the-cuff, completely fan Q&A interviews for an hour. Like, if you can watch your favorite celebrities on not Leno anymore, but you know what I mean, on Fallon or Letterman or whatever, and that's maybe 15 minutes, maybe. And those are all, by the way, they're all kind of, sifted through stories and things and anecdotes, and they're all fantastic. But I'm giving you an hour with your favorite celebs where they are speaking from their heart, and it's totally crazy and spur of the moment. Like I was doing a panel with Richard Madden from Game of Thrones. Right after that season, by the way, the Red Wedding and everything.
Yeah.
It was amazing. We were having a great panel. And then out of nowhere, Matt Smith and Richard's girlfriend, Jenna Coleman, from Doctor Who, just burst through the door, and they're in the middle of the panel. It was like Keystone Cops. It was like the craziest thing ever. And all of a sudden, now it's a Richard Madden panel with Matt Smith and Jenna Coleman. and like that kind of, you don't like that doesn't happen on Letterman. It just doesn't happen. You know, like the impromptu-ness and the off the cuffedness, if I can be so bold as to use a term that doesn't exist. Like that happens at Nerd HQ, and it's so awesome, man. I really hope that I can keep doing this as long as I'm alive. It's just that much fun.
So then what happens if you fall short of the $1 million goal?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I really don't. I put this in God's hands and
Sure.
the fans' hands and the people's hands, and you know it's a 45-day campaign. We're doing pretty good so far. We've raised almost 1/10 of what we're looking for. You know, I don't know. I mean, we're still, as you can see on the campaign page, we're still going after sponsorship dollars as well, because sponsors also bring with them technology, video games, activations, because we want to bring all that stuff as well.
Sure.
So look, if I have to bring in some sponsor, if I can get sponsorship money in to help complement the fan raised money, and even if I have to put some of my own money in again, I mean, I'll talk to my business manager. If it's not going to bankrupt me, then you know maybe I can try and get into that. But I'm really hoping to not
have to do that. Yeah.
I don't have, you know, as much as television's been very kind to me in the last 10 years, I don't have the deepest pockets in the world. I wish to God I was Bill Gates. I wish that I could just go, boom, make it happen. You know, I'd do it. I really would, because I believe in it that much.
Well, that's the juxtaposition, right, of people who watch you on TV. The people who watch you on TV, right, think you're a massive multimillionaire, but in reality, you are a working dude, just like the rest of us, trying to do something cool, right?
Yeah, and currently not actually working. So you know, so the employment finances have the faucets kind of trickling at this moment. But you know, but that's fine. I mean, look, I'm going to assess this thing at the end of the week, at the end of 2 weeks, and just keep trying to just be like, all right, what are we going to do? What's the game plan going to be? I really want this to happen. And look, and the more that we do this, I think, you know, if we got to crowdfund it next year, people will at least have more awareness and more awareness
Sure.
and more awareness, to the point where if I, you know, crowdfund it in 5 years, hopefully it'll be a day. And everyone's like, yeah, totally on board. Thanks for the videos. We so appreciate you streaming them. We appreciate the ability to just stroll into your event, no badges necessary. And then it's for charity, and then it's fun, you know. Mm-hmm. It's just tough. You know, social networking is so powerful, but it's also very difficult because, you know, I might tweet out a link at, you know, noon Eastern time, but people in the Philippines are sleeping or
Sure.
something, you know, or maybe not. I don't know.
How time zones work, we're not clear on, but I understand what you're saying.
But you know what I'm saying? So they might not catch it, and so then you got to tweet more, and I don't like bugging people either. Like, I'm sure there's people who follow me that are like, oh my God, just shut up already. But so for anybody out there who does follow me, who's like over it already, forgive me. This is going to last a little while. But know that I mean from the bottom of my heart, I believe in this, and I believe in the people, and I believe in us collectively. And I think that, and I think, by the way, also, like, I see the precedent that not just crowdfunding in general is setting, but I think what this crowdfund could set as an equal opportunity kind of crowdfund, which is every voice absolutely matters, and if we really believe that we all matter, we can move mountains. I think a lot of people out there go like, well, what's my $5 going to do? Your $5 does everything. You have no idea. I mean, I have, you know, about 500,000 followers on Twitter. If every single one of them gave $5, we would be done. It would be over. You know, we could be there. So followers, where are you? Help me.
You're just pictures of you begging every day. That's what'll sell them.
Totally.
The deadline you're looking at is April 25th. Of course, Nerd HQ goes alongside Comic-Con, July 24th through the 27th. I wish you the best of luck, Zachary Levi.
Greg, thank you so much, man, and thank you for your time today. And I really hope that I get to see you in July.
I hope so too, buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to contribute to Nerd HQ this year, you can, of course, go to thenerdmachine.com or Indiegogo, or look at the link in the description of this video. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. Zachary Levi, you're a peach. Everybody, support Nerd HQ.
God bless you, man. Thank you so much.